Jai Hind cadets, myself D.R.Sonawane, Defense Career Academy, Aurangabad. I hope you have seen my previous video about the sound. That is very important topic in NDA. In that I have given a information about the types of VO and what is VO. So in today's lecture we are going to see the properties of VO. This concept is very important as far as NDA exam is concerned. The properties of VO, that are wavelength, velocity of VO, frequency of VO, amplitude of VO, right? These are all our properties which are very important, and the formulas related with that properties. There may be a numerical question asked in the NDA examination. So let's see the properties of VO. So mainly the properties of VO are amplitude of VO. Second one is wavelength of VO. Then third one is frequency of VO. Then we can say period of VO and velocity of VO. These are the properties. Amplitude is denoted by A. Then wavelength is denoted by lambda. Frequency is denoted by F. Period is denoted by capital T, and velocity is denoted by V. So we will see one by one. First of all, what is amplitude of VO? Right, if we draw a simple transverse VO, if you draw a simple transverse VO, and transverse VO is travel in terms of crust and trough. So here the displacement of the wave particles, the particle which are present in the wave, the displacement of that particle in a vertical direction. Here we can say here is a positive amplitude and here is negative amplitude, but magnitude of plus A and minus A is same. Here the vertical displacement of particle is nothing but the amplitude. So here we can write displacement of particle is amplitude, is known as amplitude of the wave, right? So it is denoted by A, and unit of that amplitude is meter, right? So this is very simple concept. Amplitude, that is A. Here we can draw above 0, that is positive y-axis, plus A, and below 0 there is a negative y-axis. We can write it as a minus A. The second property of the wave, that is wavelength. Denoted by lambda. Very simple. Here is word wavelength, means length of the wave. We know that if we draw any wave, that is, I think so, example, if we take transverse wave, the crust and trough, if there is one crust and one trough, that is nothing but the one wave. So here is a one wave, and length of this crust and trough is nothing but the wavelength of the wave. Or we can say distance covered by the one wave is nothing but the wavelength, right? So here we can know wavelength is denoted by lambda. If one crust and one trough is travel, then that is nothing but the wave, and length of that wave is nothing but the wavelength. So here we can write distance traveled by the wave. Distance traveled by wave. Unit of that also meter. Wavelength is also having unit, that is meter. Amplitude also measured in a meter. After that, the property of wave is frequency. Very important property. Frequency of wave, and denoted by F. Then what is frequency? So frequency is nothing but the number of oscillation, or we can say number of turn, number of vibration per second. If we consider of one wave, that is crust and trough, and the time it required to travel this much distance is 1 second, then number of crust and trough in a 1 second is nothing but the frequency of that wave. So number of turns, number of oscillation per second is nothing but the frequency. So here we can write number of oscillation per second, or we can say number of vibration per second. Per second बोला है, number of vibration is digit of course. So frequency is denoted by n by t. Per second means time. So n by t. Here n is what? Number of digit. कुछ भी हो सकता है. So here the unit of that frequency is nothing but the per second. And per second is also written as hertz. Hertz is the name of scientist and frequency having unit hertz, right? So after that, the property of the wave is period. How can we define period of the wave? Denoted by t. Very simple. The time required to travel a distance of a one wave. One wave means what? One crust and one trough. So time required to travel a distance of one wave, nothing but the period of the wave. So here we can say time required for covered a distance of one wave. So time required, it means one wave is travel, it means there is a one crust and one trough. So time required to travel one crust and one trough, that is nothing but the period of the wave. Period. Also this property is also known as time period of the wave. Time period या फिर आप उसको period बोल सकते हैं. So capital T and unit of this quantity is second. These are four properties. Very important. The last property is velocity. So before that we just revise the properties. Amplitude is nothing but the displacement of particle. We can say vertical displacement also. Then wavelength is nothing but the distance traveled by the wave, denoted by lambda. Again frequency is nothing but the number of oscillation per second, number of vibration per second. It is nothing but the n upon t. N is an integer. Many number of vibration may be there or oscillation may be there. The unit of frequency is hertz. Again the fourth property, that is period, or we can say time period. It is nothing but the time required for cover a distance of one wave. If wave travel with one crust and one trough, it means there is one wave, and the time required for that is nothing but the time period of a wave. So the last property, that is very important. There may be a numericals asked in NDA examination, that is velocity of wave. So we will see the velocity of the wave. So in mechanics there is a concept of velocity. Velocity is nothing but the displacement upon time, or we can say displacement covered by the body per unit time. Here is also same definition. We can write here distance traveled by the wave per unit time. Definition is same. If I draw here a transverse wave, for example, distance traveled by the wave is what? It is lambda, and time required to cover this distance is a what? Capital T, or period of the wave. So velocity is nothing but the distance travel, that is lambda, per unit time, that is capital T. But we know that the frequency is what? Frequency is n upon t. If we put n equals to 1 year for one vibration, then formula becomes f equals to 1 by t. So instead of 1 by t, we can write here n, or I can say f. So f into lambda is also formula for velocity of wave. So v equals to f into lambda. This expression comes from the properties of the wave, that is v equals to f lambda. Here we can write 1 by t is written as f, right? So frequency is reciprocal of time period. If The wave required less time to travel, it means it having more frequency, right? So these are the 5 properties which are very important. There may be a very small question asked in NDA examination, very conceptual question on the formula based, or we can say theory based. So these are the 5 property: amplitude, wavelength, frequency, period and velocity. I hope you understood all the 5 properties and you will get benefit in NDA examination. So this is enough for now. Thank you. Have a nice day.